In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create this kind of slider using only the Kadence block and Kadence Advanced Sider block in Kadence theme. If you want to learn how I created this, let me show you. Here you can see I have only used the Kadence block. I have utilized the Kadence Advanced Slider, and then inside the slider I have utilized the row layouts, and then I have utilized a lot of sections and the images and some of the CSS that I have used. If you want to learn how you can create this kind of slider inside the Kadence, then without further ado, let's get started now. So the first thing that you have to do is to make sure that you have the proper template for the page is ready. So here if you will click on the page, make sure you have the default template. It depends on the theme that you are using and some of the other settings, but generally it need to be set to as the default theme template. Then in here I'm using a different theme, so here under the title you will find this option display page title. By default it is set to yes or enabled, so you will just have to disable it. In that way we'll have a blank canvas before we actually start making it. So now what I am going to do is to insert an advanced slider in there. So here I'll just search for advanced slider, and then there is the advanced slider block. Now in the advanced slider block you can just click on this block settings, and once you will click on the block settings you will find some other options. Now an important thing here is that you will have to click on this document overview, which is something like a navigator. So just click on this navigator, and here you can see we have two slides here, and this is the block that I have added, the advanced slider. So what I am going to do is to remove one of these slides, because we can always duplicate them and reuse them. So I am only going to focus on one of these slides, and then we'll go from there. Then we'll have to do some of the settings. So if you click on this advanced slider, here on the right side you will see this option. First of all, you have this slider type. Make sure it is set to as the slider, and then you have some of these animation settings like the autoplay and the autoplay speed, and if you want to pause it on the hover, and then you have this transition type, and then you have some of the other block settings like this animation and the custom CSS and some other settings. Now if you will click on the style tab, under the style tab you will find this option, ratio responsive. What I want to do is to set it to fixed, and then where it says height, I just want to remove any of the height that is showing up here, because we don't need any of the height, and I'm going to do using the row layouts, so we'll manage the height through the row layout. Again, then you have this arrow styles. If you need the arrows, that is fine, but in my case I'll not be using the arrows, so I'll just select none. And then if you have the arrows, you can basically decide their position as well, whether you want it on the bottom left, or you want it on the bottom right, or you want it on the top left. You have all of these position options available. You also have the arrow sizes available. I am only keeping the dot style right now because I only have dots, and we currently doesn't have any of the other slides. That is why it is only showing one dot right here. Other than that, there is nothing else we can do right now. So let's just start creating what we actually need to create. So here if you will click on this slide, here you will find this plus. So click on this plus, and first of all what I need is to insert a row layout. So I'll just insert a row layout, and what I require is to select this third row layout, which is 75% I guess and 25%, something like that. And then inside here, inside this left row layout, this container or the section, what I am going to do is to insert another row layout with the 50% and 50% distribution. So now I have something like. Another thing that I need is that I need to remove the background of the slider, because we don't need the background color in here, and I'm going to manage the background color through these slides here. But if you will click on this style of this slide option, here you will find the background. Where it says background, what I'm going to do is to pick either the white color, or you can just make it transparent. It is your choice, however you want to. My website color is white, I mean the light color, so that is why I'm going to use the light color in here. Now going back to our row layout, so in the row layout I want to pick this section. So in this section what I want to do is to insert a background color, because these are going to be two different sections of the slide, one block here and another block here, and I am basically focusing more on the responsive part, so my slides need to be responsive as well. So in this section right here that you can see on the right, on the left side, and then this is on the right side. On the left side section, what I want to do is to go to the style tab, and where it says background, I want to insert a background color, something like this. And then I also want to insert a background border style. I want to insert a border radius, so I'll insert the 10 pixels of the border radius. So it will go 10 pixels on the on all four sides, something like this. After that, what I actually want to do is to also insert some of the paddings. Yeah, let's insert the padding on the left side. So I'll just insert the padding on the left side, the small padding. So this is SM, indicating that this is small. Now that we are here, we can just insert a text block. So what I'm going to do is to insert an advanced heading, and in the advanced settings I'm going to type in the headings, and then you can just change it to any of the headings. So I'll just change it to H1, and then here you can adjust the sizes. So I'm going to keep it as 60 pixels for now. Once that is done, you can also decide about the advanced typography options, like their font weight. If you want it to be bold, it can be bold as well, and then here you can adjust the line spacing. However, this is letter spacing. You can also adjust the line height, which is, I want to keep it as 1.1 em. Once that is done, now that we have a header, I also want to insert an other block. So I'll basically duplicate it, and then I'll select it, and this time I want to keep it as probably H4. And the H4, I want to reduce the size to 32, and I don't want it to be bold, so it will be just inherent. And then in here I want to insert a small excerpt of text, just a random excerpt. So here it says special gifts at special price. That is what I have added, and then again you can adjust the font sizes however you want to. After that, what I want to do is to insert a button. So I'll click on this plus here, and then you can just search for the button, and this is the Kadence blocks button. So I'll just select and drag it right below this excerpt that I have added in the button. I'll just call it make it a happy day. Then you can do is to click on this style tab, and once you will click on the style tab, you can basically change all of the colors that you want to. So here you can see this is normal, this is for the background color, and this is for the text color. So for the background color, what I'm going to do is to change the color to this blue color, and then the text color I want to keep it as white. And then for the hover part, I want to change the color to the purple, and then the font color will be white. So now if I hover over, you can see the color is changing. Once that is done, what we can do is to click on this typography option, and in the typography option we can change the typography. So once that is done, what we can do is to go to this, I'll select this centered excerpt that we have added. I'll go to the advanced tab, and where it says margin, I'm going to insert the margins. So for the margins, here you can see I'll set it as small at the top, and I'll do the same thing. I'll add small at the bottom, so I'll have some nice spacing on the top and at the bottom. Now right here, what I'm going to do is to attach an image as the background. So I'll just click on this navigator right here. Here you can see we have this advanced slider. So if I click on advanced slider, here we have the slides, and then we have the row layout. So let's just remove this padding that comes with the row layout, because we don't actually need that. And then here we have this section, which is this entire thing. Now inside of this section we have another row layout, and inside of another row layout we have this. So here we have this on the right side. So I'll just click here, and then we can just go to the style tab, and where it says select image, I can just select an image. Let's just pick this image from there. So I'll just select this image right here. Once you will select this image, now notice how this is looking. To click on this advanced, and then you will find this structure settings. So just click on the structure settings, and here it says minimum height. So I'm just going to give it a minimum height of 400 pixels. So now you can just click on the style tab again, and then you can just adjust your positionings however you want to. So this is what I'm going to do. Now once that is done, inside of this I also want to insert a spacer. So when it goes to the mobile devices, we'll have something in here. So I'll just insert the spacer. Now here you can see by default it is set to as enable divider, so I'm just going to disable it, and now we just have a spacer in there. And now what I am going to do is to click on this section, and then I'll just click on this change vertical alignment, and I'm going to set it to as align to middle. So now everything is in the middle, and I'm going to do the same thing with this on the left side. So I'll just click on the section, and then I'll click here, and then I'll click on align to the middle, and now this is aligned to the middle. And now you can just click on the row layout. You can see this is set to as 2 columns, and then where it says column gutter, you can just remove you can just reduce it to small. Once you will do that, the next thing that you have to do, so let's just see this row layout, and then I'll go there in the advanced, and where it says padding, I'll just remove the padding on the top and on the bottom, because we don't actually need that padding. So I want this image to be curved, so I'll just go to the advanced option, and then where it says CSS, I already have wrote the CSS, so I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it here. And now you can see we have this curved image here. Now we need to add a block in here, which is going to be a very simple block. So what I'm going to do is, remember we have added an height option here. So if I go to advanced, here you can see we have the 400 pixels of the height here, indicating that the overall height is actually 400. So I'm just going to click on this section option here, then we can just go to advanced, then structure settings, and I'm going to add the 400 pixels so that the height will remain the same. Once that is done, what I'm going to do is to insert a spacer in there. So here spacer, I'll just insert the spacer, and then I'll disable it. Now I'll select this section, and I want to insert a background image, so I'll select an image from here. So I'll just select this image right now, and then I'll adjust its positioning to something like this. So now you can see that's how it looks. Now I'm going to click on this section. You can see we have selected the section. Again, for this I'm going to align it to the bottom because I want to insert a text here. Now I'll select this section, and it is selected here. You can just scroll down, and where it says background overlay, click on that, and then where it says gradient, just click on the gradient. Now when you will click on the gradient here, I want to change it to the black color, and then I'll click on this blue color, and I'll basically reduce the opacity of this blue color because we don't need the blue color. Now I am going to increase the overlay color, and now you can see there we have this darker shade. Now we can also adjust this angle through this, so you can adjust the angle according to whatever you need. So here this is where I need my angle to be, and then from here you can just drag these things here and there to adjust the positioning of the color. Now where I have this excerpt, I am going to duplicate this excerpt from there, and then I'll select and drag it right here. Now you can see this is our text, where it is of course in the black color, and I'll just select the color, and I'll change the color to the white color, and now we can basically change it. Remember we have added some margins, some padding here, so I'll select this section, I'll go to this, and then here you can see we have this extra small padding on the both side. So I'm going to select this section from here, and then I'll go to the advanced, and then I'll just make sure that we'll have a little bit more like the small padding on the both side. So here we have this padding, and then where we have this spacer, we can adjust the height of the spacer to 20 pixels. Once that is done, just click on the save draft, and once you will click on the save draft, the draft will get saved. So I'll just click on this section, and once you will click on this section, what you actually want to do is to click on the style tab, go all the way down, and then click on border style, scroll down, unlink them, and then select 10. And once you will click 10, here you can see our border radius is applied. You can just update that draft, and then you can go back here, and now you can see that's how it looks. So now just in case if you want to adjust the width of the slider, you can just click on this advanced slider, and then just click on this style tab, and then here you will find this inner max width. So I have set this to 1440 pixels. and then if you will click on this saved option, if you will go back and if you will give it a refresh, now you can see we have this smaller width right here, and that is basically how you can adjust the width. Now that we have created it, before we can actually start replicating it, let's start making it responsive. Okay, so now what you can do is to click here and then click on this tablet version, and once you will click on the tablet version, here you can see we have this layout option. Make sure you have this tablet version selected here, and then just click collapse to rows, and then it will change it to something like this, and then you can basically adjust your font sizes according to the devices. Of course, tablet devices have smaller sizes, so you can adjust the font sizes and everything in here. So where it says font size, I'll just click here and then I'll just make it 50 pixels here, and then you can also adjust the line height here. I'll just keep 1.3, and then in here I'll just make it 26, and then there we have this button, and then we have this right here. Once that is done, you can just click on this mobile devices, or you can just click on the general, and then I'll just click on this mobile device, and then I'll just select this row layout. Make sure you have this selected right here. What I actually want to do is to hide this entirely, so I'll just select this option right here, and then what I'm going to do is to go to the advanced option, and once you will click on this visibility settings where it says hide on mobile, I'm going to just click on hide on mobile, so it will just hide this section from the mobile devices. And then we have this section right here. I also want to hide this section on the mobile devices, so then I'll go select this section, go to the advanced options, and then where it says visibility settings, I'll just hide it from here, and then we can just basically click on the desktop, and now this is how it is. We are finally done here, so I'll just click on this save settings, and now here you can see that's how it looks. Now I'll just click on this desktop version right here, and you can see that's how our desktop version looks. I'm just going to select it where it says slide. You can just click here, and then you can just click on duplicate, and once you will click on duplicate, now here you can see we have 2 dots, and then in the same way you can basically duplicate it the third time, and then you have 3 dots, indicating that we have 3 different slides now. So let's just wait, and now I'll just click on live preview, and once you will click on live preview, here you can see that's how our slides are. Currently all the things are same, so we will have to change the images and other things, but we know that it is responsive and everything is looking just fine. So let me just update some of these things and I'll show you how does it look. Alright, so here you can see I have changed these images and I have changed their structure. I have basically moved them here and there, and now you can see I have changed the colors, changed the images and everything, and this is basically how it looks. So now we have this slider. Once you will make your slider, you can also adjust the duration, everything. So here you can see we have the autoplay speed. You can adjust the autoplay speed, so I'll generally keep it as 5000, and then where it says pause on hover, if you want you can just enable it if you have button. So I have button, so I'll just keep it as pause on hover, and then where it says slide speed duration, I'll just make it 600, and then you have this transition type. Instead of fade, I'll just select slide, and then here you can see looping option. We want it to endlessly loop, so it will just loop here and there. And then we have this column gap. You don't have to worry about this, so just click on save draft, and once you will go back here, and then if you will give it a refresh, now you will see that we have basically the slide effect. So in this way you can make the slider using the Kadence blocks and the Kadence Advanced Slider options. If you find this video helpful, be sure to hit the subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell icon to always get the latest video updates from me. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.